Canto Valley is a weird place, but while the woods that border our town account for much of that strangeness, the town itself boasts its own reputation. Whether it's the pack of coyotes that visits the town at night every few weeks, looking through windows and jiggling doorknobs, or the retaining wall outside the Pattersons' orchard, which birds regularly smash into at high speeds, or Mr. Carver's dog, which still seems to guard Mr. Carver's home long after he passed. The town itself can be called weird. However, there is a part of the town that I know of, but have never seen, and that's the school basement. We only have one school in Canto Valley, a combined elementary and middle school. High schoolers need to commute to and from the larger neighboring town 5 days a week. Even then, there aren't nearly enough kids to fill the classrooms of the school. But the school never did seem dingy or poorly maintained, and most of that credit went to Mr. Santos. He worked as a bit of a combination maintenance man, janitor, and groundskeeper, and the school never seemed to have any issue he couldn't handle. And one of the issues he had to handle was the door in the basement. I learned a lot about it from the older kids at school. According to them, in the small basement of the school, Mr. Santos would occasionally find a door in the wall, as though it had always been there. When I asked what the door led to, they said that no one knew, because Mr. Santos kept everyone away from it. But if you listened closely, you could hear, from the other side of this door, the whisper of a woman bidding you to open and enter. If that was all there was to the tale, I might not have believed them. Even the nice older kids couldn't help wanting to scare the younger kids, and it sounded like some dime-a-dozen ghost story. Yet, at the start of every new school year, Mr. Santos would visit each classroom and talk to every student and remind them to never enter or even get near the door to the basement. And he always locked that door with a heavy metal chain and padlock. So, whether he only meant to keep us kids away from potentially dangerous tools and equipment, or whether there was some phantom door hidden within, it almost didn't matter to me. Mr. Santos was just too nice of a man for me to ignore his requests, and even if I had the mind to, I would never be able to get through the chain on that door. So, like the twisted trees of the woods, and the albino deer that inhabited them, I viewed the school basement, and the possible door within, as yet another potential quirk of our town. That is, until someone went through it. Like me, the kids listened to Mr. Santos. So far as I know, no one has ever attempted to get into the school basement, though we definitely passed by to gawk at the massive chain and padlock that held it in place. It took a tourist to break this taboo. In a town as weird as ours, most people that know of us simply avoid us. Others, though, visit us, the valley, and often the woods, deliberately. Some of them are just fascinated with the weird, while others seem to be dealing with some deep, personal struggles, and coming to the valley appears to help them in their search. Although a few of these people can be annoying, most are polite, or at least respectful, and follow the rules the adults have laid out. The rest of them get the name tourist. People that come to the town with the intention of treating it like their own personal playground rather than our home. Disrespectful teens, arrogant adults, and even wannabe Satanists. They'd harass the town's residents, vandalize public and private property alike, and learn every rule we followed so that they could intentionally break them. They seemed unnaturally driven to causing problems. Whether that drive came from a blackened heart, a broken mind, or perhaps a drug-fueled craze. Nevertheless, tourists would never last long in our town, but not because of anything we would do. At the school, Teresa, one of the girls older than me, had stayed late after class and saw a man she did not recognize standing at the door to the basement, working on the padlock with a large pair of bolt cutters. From what I heard, he turned to her with a wild look and made threats best not repeated. She ran, crying and afraid, to the school office and found Mr. Santos and the principal. They called Deputy O'Reilly, who arrived at the school within minutes, and the three made their way to the school basement. They saw the cut padlock and chain laying on the ground, the door to the basement wide open. But before they could enter to head down the stairs, they heard the loud thud of another door slamming shut. In the basement, they found the bolt cutters the man had carried with him, but no sign of the errant basement door, and no sign of the man himself. They kept the school closed for a day to be safe, and Deputy O'Reilly stayed on campus to keep an eye on things. But it turned out to be unnecessary. They found the man a week later in the woods. At least, what was left of him. With no means of identifying him, and with no one trying to claim his body, the town came together to give him a funeral. My father said it was the proper Christian thing to do, no matter how horribly he had threatened Teresa. So my brother and I stopped our grumbling and attended with the other town residents. The funeral was warm and somber, with plenty of flowers and genuine words of remorse from those that attended. It was also a closed casket funeral, a grim reminder to us kids on why we should stay out of the basement.